Well, hello, this is Chad with Carl Broman Respiratory Care. This is a quick tutorial for our pediatric nursing partners. I wanted to introduce you to the AIRVO2. This is the heated high flow nasal cannula system that we will have available for use up on the floor. We have 4. We'll be keeping a few in the ED and a few around here. I just wanted to show you a few of the features and kind of what we're doing here actually. So this is different than traditional nasal cannula oxygen, in which you're just providing an oxygen enriched environment in which to breathe. With this device, we're actually assisting the inspiratory flow demand. And what that means is at high inspiratory flow rates, or the delivery of inspiratory flow, you could actually assist the inspiratory drive of a patient in respiratory distress. So that patient that is working hard to move air in the lungs with the application of the high flow, you can actually achieve that inspiratory flow demand and meet that demand and sometimes exceed it and thereby decrease respiratory distress. So it's the flow rate that is actually going to be the inspiratory drive assist. We'll repeat that one more time. So the flow rate is what we are going to focus on for respiratory distress. So I'm going to set this based off of a guideline set on age and kilogram weight, and then we will go up for respiratory distress from there or down if they're in less distress. And then FiO2 is titrated separately. So flow for respiratory distress, and then we'll titrate FiO2 for SpO2 or hypoxemia. So I'm going to show you kind of how we're going to do that. And again, you guys will not be responsible for any of the setup or even the application of the device. And you won't be responsible for titration, but just like everything else, we want you guys to be as familiar with this stuff as we are. So I'm going to show you just like you would be if you had to increase the FiO2 or flow rate in an emergent situation. But first, we're going to the power button here. Press and hold. And it's a little tough to see. Kind of a bad reflection here. This does adult and pediatric applications. So what we will do is set this in the pediatric mode, and I'm going to do that by pressing and holding this play button here. And that says junior mode, and it has a few little figurines there. And what that does is it drops the flow rate range for our little people. Okay, now I can toggle between the temperature, and I'm toggling with this button, temperature, flow, and FiO2. But the only thing you can adjust on the machine is the temperature, which we usually just let it default. It's usually about 32 degrees Celsius. So you can adjust that, and you can adjust the flow on the machine. And here's how we would adjust the flow. We're going to press and hold this up and down arrow. That's going to start flashing. That means I can go up or down. Up arrow will take it up, and vice versa. And then we'll press and hold our play button. That locks it in. And it's going to take that for a second. Yep. There, it's locked. And I did want to show you FiO2. Now what this is just a reading. What we're going to actually be doing is bleeding in oxygen with an oxygen tube from a flow meter into the machine right here. And then, so we'll be titrating FiO2 with the flow meter. So if you want more FiO2, then you just turn the flow meter up. Okay? So on the machine, there's a temperature, there's flow rate for respiratory distress, and then there's FiO2, which will be adjusted with the flow meter. And here are the different, these are called OptiFlow Juniors. These are the nasal cannulas, and they come in 4 different sizes. So the red is like micro or preemie. The yellow is more like gestational age, newborn. So I think what we will probably see is, yeah, let me just turn this off so it doesn't start buzzing. There we go. What we're going to see is more like this larger pediatric size, and then this more like I'm 1 to 2 years old. So, for example, it has these adhesive strips that you will pull off, and then I don't know if you could see it, it's kind of in like a shape of a W here, and there's a reason for that. So what we're going to do is, you know, our kiddos have pretty squishy cheeks, so whenever we put something like this on, it could tend to squeeze the cheeks, and the cannula prongs will fall out. So what this design is meant to do is to keep that from happening. And so, like you can see on here, I had to use this micro size on this mannequin because his nares are pretty small. But this is that shape too. You just slide it right up to the nair and adhere it down to the cheeks. This snaps into the end of the circuit, which is right here. This just snaps together, and you're ready to roll. And that's all there is to it. So that, my friends, is the AIRVO2, the heated high flow nasal cannula system. We can adjust flow, we can adjust temperature, and we can adjust FiO2. And again, we're going to adjust flow for respiratory distress and FiO2 for hypoxemia. And these are the little nasal cannulas. So hope this was helpful. More to come. Catch you guys later.